Hello, this is the TradeSite US Stocks Futures and Forex Market Preview for the week beginning Sunday, the 8th of January 2023, ending Friday the 13th. Yes, I said that right, Friday the 13th. This will be our first full week of 2023, and I have to say, last week I was excited because the holiday was on Monday, and then we had right out of the gate, let's get to work. And this has been the most boring opening of a year ever. I mean, usually we talk about if the first 3 days of January are up, the rest of the month is down. If the first 3 days are down, the rest of the month is up. It couldn't have been flatter. Couldn't have been a bigger waste of time. And it carried over from the week before, which is usually flat because it's the end of the year and nobody's trading. But this is just really insanely disappointing. So we'll talk about some of this as we go through here. Here's the dollar index daily chart. As you can see, Forex has been flat for a full month, dead flat. One more dip down, and we will get a 13 buy signal on the seeker on the daily here. So we'll keep an eye on that. Here's a look at the pound. Also very flat lately, not doing much. Here's a look at the euro yen, usually the inverse of the dollar index. It's a little different right now, but still not much there. I got the pound yen, not doing much there. Dipped this week and then came back. All right, so the Forex stuff's so dead, we're not going to really talk about it. Let's go to the stock market. So the ES front month futures contract, daily chart of the broad market in futures form. You know, back at the second week of December, we had a spike up day that could have been the 13 sell signal, but it didn't close above the 8, so we get the asterisk there. Still ended up being the top, and we sold off a little bit from there. Have not yet reached the static trend line at 36.2150. So we could still get a 13 sell signal the traditional way if we head up and get above that 8. So just be aware of that. S&P cash index looks pretty much the same. NASDAQ 100, a little bit different here. You know, is what it is. We're nearer to the lows on this thing. Almost made new lows on Friday, but didn't quite. Russell 2000, kind of mid-range, has been pretty dead flat for 6 months or more. So there's not much here to talk about. Crude oil near to the lows, 73, 77 is the close on Friday. That's good for prices at the pump, obviously. Gold has been on the rise a little bit finally in this inflationary environment, but also just got a 13 sell signal on the daily, so that might not turn into much. You got the Bitcoin sitting. Look how tiny these daily candles are on Bitcoin. Won't break 16,000 really, but it's not doing anything at all. Certainly not an exciting market. TLT, the 20-year bond ETF, nothing there. VIX closes, had a 13 buy signal a couple weeks back, was on the rise, sold off on Friday on the rally that we finally got. It still didn't take us out of the range really. I'll show you that in a minute. So it was closed at 21.13. The advanced decline ratio in the New York plus 22.73. So a big day on Friday, but it's been kind of the rest of the time. Trend closes the 10-day moving average, which is the orange line that we care about the most, just above the 0.85 blue line, which is the if we got under that, we'd have a sell signal. And I do think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're going to lose a couple big numbers the next 2 days off the moving average, and so a couple low readings would push that under 0.85, and that would be a sell signal on the broad market, while the VIX also is still operating under a 13 secret buy signal. I would say that that's a negative for the market from an internals perspective. Here's the ES front month futures contract on 5-minute candles to the far left side. This whole day that you see there, that's the last day of the year, back on Friday, December 30th. And then on Tuesday, remember we were closed Monday, we gapped up a little, sold off, filled it, closed a little bit lower. Wednesday we gap up, filled it, tried to rally, closed at that point. We're dead flat for the week still. Thursday we gap down, completely dead flat day. Friday gap up, back that filled the gap from Thursday morning. Then we filled the gap from Friday morning almost to the tick, then bounced, and there was a little rally late in the day. But if I slide this back, as you'll see, I mean, we've been nowhere for 10 days. Like, that's pathetic. So there's not much to say about the markets. And the NASDAQ side pretty much looks about the same. In terms of the stocks, you know, Apple up a little bit on Friday, but it's been dead near the lows. Amazon up a little bit, but it's also been dead and actually swept new lows on Friday. Meta has been on the rise a bit since that 13 buy signal back in October. Google bounced off that 13 buy signal in November, now has pulled back a bit, but still, I'd say it's very near the lows at this point. Goldman Sachs, mid-range for the last 6 months. Netflix, closer to the highs. Tesla, closer to the lows. NVIDIA, dead flat. And Zoom, also dead flat. I may pull Zoom off the list. I don't think it's that interesting to look at Zoom anymore from any perspective, so it is what it is. In terms of economic data coming out this week, what we have is Monday here in the U.S., consumer credit in the afternoon, nothing in the morning. And then Tuesday, the NFIB Small Business Index at 6 a.m. Eastern Time. Fed Chair Powell speaks at 9. Final wholesale inventories at 10. And then on Wednesday, we've got crude oil inventories an hour into the market. 10-year bond auction at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. We've got the Thursday. We've got the CPI. That's one of our big three, and this will be the most important number of the week, obviously. So we'll be half size ahead of the CPI for 4x overnight. But again, they're looking at an annualized number for inflation down to 6.5. That's down from where it was previously. We'll see what we actually get. That's a big one right now with all the inflation stuff. Initial and continuing jobless claims at 8:30. Also, natty gas at 10:30. 30-year bond auction at 1, federal budget balance at 2, and then on Friday, import-export prices and preliminary University of Michigan sentiment. So that's the week ahead. I'd say the focal point will be the CPI. There's no, whatever. We do end up, just so you know, the following Monday, and this might slow Friday down, Friday the 13th, right? But the following Monday, the 16th, is a U.S. holiday for Martin Luther King. So we're closed on Monday the 16th. So that could slow Friday down as people extend their weekend. So let's just be aware of that and see what it looks like. And then the week after, we'll have options expiration. Charts, as usual, brought to you by eSignal. If you've, no, NinjaTrader. If you've not yet taken a trial of our services, feel free to do so. We will help you out for a couple of weeks. Have a great trading week.